apologize. I apologize. We're gonna be going to the draft right away. I did not realize that we were. I was checking my. We dropped like a couple frames there. I just happened to glance over, but either way, it looks like we leveled out, and we are going into our first game here of imported support versus LOL. I think it was one too many. But imported support is on our left, and LOL is on our right. We are going to Towers of Doom here. First ban. Now we have been following LOL all night, so I'm wondering, are they going to just be going into that Tassadar ban once again? Now, also, the other thing that I want to note, and I'm not the most popular streamer in the world, but import support, you're going to see those Lost Vikings banned out, especially on Towers of the Doom. That's just, it, you know, if they're going into Towers of Doom, that's just something that I'd be afraid of. It's definitely played on this map. It's definitely something that, in my opinion, could be and should be feared on this map, especially going up against a strong Vikings player. But they're going to go ahead and lock in this Tassadar. All night, they have not wanted to deal with this. But at the same time, hey, if you don't want to deal with it, it's great. Yep. 58 seconds. They knew exactly they did not want to deal with the Lost Vikings, especially on Towers of Doom. So there's a smart ban on the side of imported support. Now we're going to this first pick here. And I'm curious what they're going to be playing instead of the Lost Vikings. What's going to be that global? I don't know. I guess I don't know if you can call them a global threat, but I mean, if you have all three up, it is a global threat because they're in every lane, and it's a pain. I'm curious to see what they're going to be putting. I wonder. Okay, either way, though. Okay, they're going to go first pick Abathur. And it's quite good. The push power that he can get on this map is... Oh my god! Thank you so much for the 500 bits! Thank you so much. Alex99999. Thank you. But we do have a Greymane and Rhaegar being picked up here first for imported support. That's a strong first pickup. The chain heal throughout the entire match is going to be powerful. Greymane's dive and burst will be strong here, and he's just a very versatile character, as well as he just has very good... he's a good laner. I personally don't like him in the solo lane. I think he's stronger with the team, because... I mean, in any composition towards the end of the game, that's where you see him. But in a lot of the amateur stuff that I cast, I see him in that solo lane often. But we're going to go ahead and have an ETC picked up here on the side of LOL. Do they try and go for the Abbott? Like, do you just go Illidan at this point? You can take that stage dive into the hunt, so you'd have a technical global, double global. Then you can clone the Illidan, which is, it's just such a nuisance. And they're actually going to go ahead and lock into Dahaka. I actually really like that. That's a lot of push power on the side of LOL. And imported support, I'm curious to see how they're going to respond to this. Looking at the draft of LOL, they've obviously got two tanks. Or, well, two, you know, you've got your offlaner, your main tank, you've got your siege push hatting monster. But mostly they're going to be probably focusing on some sort of healer next. Personally, I think the Stukov is extremely powerful here. They don't need another healer on the side of imported support, so banning out that Stukov might be beneficial to them. The silence would be really, really powerful. The zoning he provides is very good. I think he's quite a good asset to a team. The failing swipe is... Oop, I just punched my mic. The failing swipe is pretty powerful here. And they're going to go ahead and just ban out the Uther, though. I mean, Redemption at 20 is really good. The Ghost healing is really powerful. The stuns that he can provide are just... the disengage that you might be able to neuter on the side of imported support with that Uther. Because, as you know, the Greymane has a disengage. Rhaegar, you know, can Z and technically get away from people a little bit quicker. So that stun provides that extra split second for the Dahaka maybe to follow up with a tongue, or even it's a follow up to Dahaka's tongue, as well as the D shield onto the ETC could be really powerful for Amash. But it looks like LOL is going to go ahead and ban out the Genji once again, so... Typically on maps like Towers of Doom, we often see a prioritization of the Abathur, and to counter that, we sometimes actually do see the Zeratul going up against that. But it looks like they just don't want to deal with this Tassadar Genji all night. This is interesting. Very interesting, honestly. Huh. But they're going to get rid of it. Now, on the side of imported support, they're going to want to probably lock in their main tank at this point. And they're going to need someone else. I think they're going to need some range damage here, and I'm thinking, do you go a Garrosh into a Falstead? There's a really, really good chance for isolation with the toss as well as the Gust disengage. Like, for example, if you want to... Whoever they end up picking up as their healer on the side of LOL, do you then utilize that throw and Gust so you can get them out of place and then Gust them away? They're not going to do that now, obviously. Tyrael Leoric. I see the Leo. Okay. I like the Tyrael. The boss control is really good. Holy Ground is really beneficial. Sanctification is really strong. Tyrael overall, I think, is just really powerful on this map. That's a really good pickup. But these last two slots on the side of LOL, they're gonna need a healer and they're gonna need some damage. I'm just curious what they're gonna be going into for those two things. Ariel is still available. Do they just go into the Vala Ariel? A clone of Vala or Ariel could be really beneficial for a fight. I still think the Stukov, but maybe, I don't know, the Vala Ariel, it's just strong. You don't have to go back for mana. You can stay there forever. But they're actually going to go Vala Karazim here. Interesting. I guess if you are going to clone, a healer, why not clone a healer that has, a decent damage output as well? So now the only thing I'm not sure, and chat might know this, because I know it clones the base hero, but does it take his level 1 talent into consideration as his because at level 1 you're technically choosing your trait. You're not really choosing a level 1 ability per se. So I'm just curious, like, if you go into the level 1 healing punches, or I honestly don't know. I know Transcendence. Let's just say you go into Transcendence at level 1. Do you get that base? I'm just curious. Twitch chat would know though, or at least someone who's not streaming the game, who might be playing the game, might be able to tell me. I summon Hedgie, my mod, if he's here. But either way, we are going into this first game here on Towers of Doom with imported support versus LOL. OL, I think. Okay, and on the left, we have Ignition on Tyrael, Dreaded on Rhaegar, Specialty on Greymane, Swabs Magoo on Leoric, and The Aware on Ariel. That is imported support. And on the right-hand side, we have Hospital on Dahaka. My screen just flashed, and I was like, please, computer, don't freeze now. Kevin on ETC, Droplets on Vala, Itobi on Karazim, and Hoshibaba. I keep wanting to say like Hashibaba, but it's Hoshibaba on the Abathur. Go ahead and pull up some of these first level talents. I'm just going to go ahead and send a quick message. All right. Oh, let's see here. We actually have the Consume Vitality from Leoric at level 1. That's interesting.
What are you waiting
All right. Well, here we go into this first game between Import Support and LOLOL, which we'll just shorten throughout the game. We don't want to say that the entire time. We actually have Leoric currently going up into that top lane. Going to be soaking up there as best as he can. We currently have Dahaka pushing up the bottom, and now I'm curious if he's just going to be able to utilize that burrow the moment Leoric's a little too far forward. He's going to go ahead and do that. They actually look like they're going to be ignoring each other. He goes ahead and actually dodges the swipe there. Gets the tongue and gets a couple auto attacks off and will be backing off. Now in this bottom, we do have a rotation, I believe, between... Are there rotations happening between bottom and mid? Because of that Abathur? Tyrael actually extremely low here, throwing out his Aldruin's Might in. Greymane is going to be able to get the vision into this bush. We do have a few of the members diving in onto the Greymane, and it's just falling extremely low. Special T with 17 health will get killed by Droplets there, and that's going to be first blood going over to LOL. Droplets is going to be moving over onto Ignition. Kevin is going to be sliding in. They will not be able to get any sort of extra kill there, but that first kill, that's a strong first kill. Now, Abathur currently in bottom, just trying to push this up as best as he can with his Locust, as well as a little bit of body soaking, just showing himself in lane there. We currently have the 3-stage altars happening. We have the Dahaka. Okay, he did burrow to avoid a little bit of damage. He did have the Abathur hat for a few seconds there. Abathur will be in that bottom lane, just kind of up a little bit far, just to tease a few of the members. They're going to go ahead and actually time these out almost perfectly. Actually, LOL will rotate onto Import Support. The whip from the Ario will save them in time. But Ignition wants to go ahead and take a fight here. Droplets is getting focused quite a bit. She is going to have to run away here. Kevin with the save, just kind of pushing a few of the members back. They do get the barrage on both teams, and it looks like this midpoint is going to be the one that they really contest over. Droplets will be falling here. We do see quite a dive onto Ignition, but he's going to get healed back up from that Ariel quite quickly. She is getting full onto that. Excuse me. Her bar is getting extremely full very quickly. I peeked over it. It was like full and empty, full and empty. We currently have Abathur just moving up into that top lane, trying to get a little bit more pressure. And this is quite a different game than the ones that we saw before from LOL. The aggressiveness has been dialed back a little bit. It's a little bit different now that they don't have the Vikings this game. So I'm curious to see how they're going to adjust their playstyle to that. Now, Import Support has also been able to watch these two games. If they actually did watch these games, they kind of know what to expect a little bit. From what the enemy team has been kind of doing in these games. They actually get to dive onto the Greymane here. The punches go out from the Kerosene. Droplets is trying to get a little bit of that damage from the backline. We do have Itobi trying to dash in, but unfortunately, Special T will be able to get out with just about 200 health. And we do have Ignition getting body blocked a little bit here from the ETC, but he will be able to get to that gate and hearth back. Do currently have the top sapper camp being pushed up a little bit here. It actually will get triggered into the gate, and that's going to open this up a little bit here, and that's going to make Abathur's life a little bit harder, because the moment you start to open up these lanes, he becomes more of a target. And I was talking about the aggressive level of LOL, but never mind. They went in for this huge flank onto Leoric. Now he does have his Wraith Walk there. He is able to get out, but unfortunately that is going to be Swab's Magoo falling here. Now, at the same time, they do respond a little bit in kind in bottom. Special T and the Aware pushing into this bottom lane, while Rhaegar and... I did not see... I have to check. Tyrael. Excuse me. They are going to go ahead and get this aggressive camp now. And they're going to walk this into the bottom and open this up a little bit more themselves. Now, they are postured up quite well for this next phasing here. We do have Abathur currently burrowing to top to make sure he pushes that back and get the body soak and keeping them in line in levels. It's currently only 1 to 2 kills, so it's not a bloodbath just yet. We do have some posturing currently happening. I just want to peek really quickly over to the Dahaka versus the Leoric. Have that currently happening up in the top lane, or in the mid. We do have the Ariel getting dove by a few of the members, and they are going to have to back off here on the side of LOL. There is this 4-man currently pushing quite hard into them. Rhaegar is going to dive in. Arya is going to go ahead and try and actually get this altar, and she will succeed, while the rest of the members zone a few of LOL back. We do have Dahaka falling a little bit low here, but at the same time, Swab's Magoo is going to go get the kill. I apologize for that. I had that backwards completely. We actually see a little bit more aggression on the side of... Imported Support. They're going to go ahead and zone a few of the members back here. Draded it will go ahead and capture this altar, and that's going to be 8 of the altar shots going straight into the core of LOL. Abathur is pushing up this top lane quite well. He's going to go ahead and use that burrow, making sure he just kind of baits a few members up to the gate. Might actually go looking for him, but at the same time, they do get quite a big push there. And we do have a little bit of an aggressive rotation from LOL onto this camp. They go ahead and steal this away from imported support because I believe they were just about to start it. But the 4-man was a little too scary for, I believe, just a couple members working on that camp. ETC will posture up a little bit, but they're going to go ahead. Are they going to go for it? No, it looks like they're not going to go for it. Okay. We currently have the Orc just pushing up that top lane, actually quite far. Abathur is just right in front of the tower, just try and attack me. We do have LOL, the 4-man of LOL, pushing into this mid lane quite hard. The Abathur hat is out. We do have Droplets taking quite a bit of damage from a few of the members. They are getting put into this corner here, and a few of the members are falling extremely low on the side of LOL, but at the same time in support board, the Orc will get the kill onto Droplets. The dive in from Specialty, they will be getting the kill onto the ETC as well, and they're going to have to back off here on the side of LOL and give over this free boss to imported support, who are on the cusp of their 10 talents here, which is really going to start to change over the game. Now, but they're doing an extremely good job of making sure that he's body soaking the lanes, as well as hat soaking the opposite lanes, making sure that he's getting as much experience for his team, trying to keep that level gap as minimal as possible, and he's been doing quite a good job. It's really honestly been about a quarter level difference this entire game. And really, we haven't seen that many kills either. The rotations have been quite spectacular from all teams. But just those couple extra kills have really pushed them over on the side of imported support. We're going to go ahead and just pull this down. Oop, actually, we're going to leave it up just because the 10s are here on the side of LOL. We just have a lot of posturing here. The clone is ready from the Abathur. What are we going to get? We're going to have double kerosene currently happening. They are going to be going ahead and diving in onto Swab's Magoo, who's going to be getting so low there. The Eldrin's Might is out from the Tyrael. He could pop in at any second. He's going to go ahead and do that, get the delay onto Hospital, but there's a huge mosh pit coming out onto 3 of the members of, oh my god, imported support falling so extremely low. The Orc is going to be dying there, but the sanctification does come out. Rhaegar with the will get the kill onto the ETC. Droplets falling extremely low, but will trigger the palm from the Karazim. Unfortunately, it won't be enough to keep her alive, and she will be falling. Dahaka will have the burrow for a second and will be falling. All that is left is the Abathur, and they actually go ahead, and since all the members are down, import support are going to go ahead, burn down this bottom tower, because 1, it makes the rotations into this bottom lane harder for LOL, as 2, they can push in more of the sapper camps, and 3, they were going to get 5 shots, and that is going to take the core of LOL down to 15 core points. And they can go ahead and get this camp here, as well as over here, and potentially start to try and walk that in and go for another 6, which would put them closer to 9. At the same time, though, ETC is going to be creating a little bit of pressure with Droplets here in the top lane, getting the Sapper camp, which will be pushing into that top lane, which has been opened up a little bit by the Abathur push. We'll see if Leorc is able to burn this down quick enough. Now, at the same time, I just want to also note that Dahaka is here, making sure that he's clearing out this wave, burning a couple shots of this tower, because I don't believe it's a keep just yet. Now, the other thing I want to note at the same time is we have full hearth from everyone on the side of LOL. Looks like they know what's coming to them because they see the double camps. And actually, they're not going to really try and walk this in. They pull the majority of the members out of the top lane. Leorc is going to rotate up there. He'll probably get the... Oh, no. I was watching the minimap and I was like, maybe he'll get the clear in time. Not at all. The Eldrin's Might is there, I think, just to kind of try and scare them, but it doesn't seem to be working out. They're just going to rotate into this mid lane, and import support is going to go ahead and try and open this up a little bit further, making sure that Abathur is a little bit just kind of further back. And as you can see, his rotations he's playing extremely safe now that he doesn't have any sort of gate to hide behind, as well as the towers and these near 4-man rotations. He wants to make sure that he's not anywhere near them. We currently just have Tyrael postured underneath this. LOL is just making these bush rotations. They're just a little bit at a time. They don't want to get caught out here. We do have all the heroics up for every team. And it looks like we do have 1 altar. So they're going to go ahead and burn this down here. And this will actually equal out the shots. Oh, here, Physio. Thank you so much. Oh, it's okay. You can take your viewers back. If you picked up a game, I'm not going to blame you at all. And good luck in your game. But we do have this next altar coming up, and it looks like we have just all the ultimates already. We do just the Curse Bolt does go out onto the Vala. We do actually have the copy onto the Karazim. Does get the dash heal there. Looks like we do have the Leoric in this backline trying to slow a few of the members down. Do have Vala getting a little bit of a stun onto a couple of the members. There is the Mosh that is ready for the ETC. He's just trying to get in the proper position for it. Doesn't get whipped or stunned out of it. Waiting for quite a few of these. Adaptation is actually used from the Dahaka on as well. The huge Mosh from a couple of members. There's the whip from the Ariel to disengage it. Do have a dive in. There's the huge sanctification of the Ancestral connected. And they're going to keep this fight going. Droplets will be falling. Dahaka trying to get the burrow, but it will not happen. And it looks like imported support will go ahead. And they're going to... I was wondering if ETC was going to make a ballsy move and go for that, but no. He's not going to try for it. Looks like they're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing they tried last time. Leoric's actually going to go into that top, try and prevent this from taking too much damage. And they don't lose that over. And they still want to get actually... Can they get 6 shots? They go ahead and capture with the Ariel, and I don't think ETC will be able to burn it down in time, so that's going to put them closer to 9. And with that laugh as well, that's the boss. Now this boss will put them at a total of 5 core health points. Now I'm curious, are they going to try and walk this in? Specialty does need to get mana. They did regain their mid. Abathur is able to just start to push this up a little bit more, and... This is gonna be this is the big defense at this point. They definitely need to posture up a little bit here and play a little bit safe. They go ahead and get that camp, which will burn this down a little bit. At the same time, though, they are taking quite a bit of damage because they are fighting underneath it. They're gonna back off here. The Curse Bolt did go out, did take ETC quite a bit down. Do have the Holy Ground from the Tyrael separating a few of the members. Abathur does get the hat out as well. They are going to try and push these sappers in, and without the 16s, they want to play safe here. They're trying to burn these down. They do get one over the gate, so that is going to put their core at 8 health. Swabs Magoo falling extremely low, but he is going to get one of his March swings off, which puts him a little bit health up, and he's going to be able to use his walk for a little bit extra shielding there. The Crystal Aegis there was just perfect timing. We do actually have the clone falling here. The Sanctification is out. There is a palm from the Karazim at the last second. This fight is out of this world. I can't even keep up. The drag onto the Tyrael there. He does have the explosion. Does get it onto the ETC, who will get healed up by his his passive, and as well as the Karazim. But what a insane back and forth, and they defended that quite well. They only, I believe, they actually lost. I think they actually got 3 of those in. Because I think they got both camps. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much here, Fusio. Thanks for bringing over the viewers. I appreciate it. We do have ETC currently scouting this boss out. He's actually posturing extremely aggressively, and that's because they do have 16s on the side of LOL. They're going to try and take this big last fight. The Cleanse did go out on to Kevin, trying to make sure that the Rhaegar does not get... Cleanse did go out as well, but they're not able to save him. Abathur did get the one shot over, so they do delay this a little bit longer. Looks like Tyrael will be able to capture this at the same time on the left-hand side. Do they get the chase onto the Vala is the real question. And it looks like with that, they're gonna try and actually go for this boss. The pings are out. They don't have an ETC. This is do or die at this point. They dive in at this point. The Ancestral Healing did go out onto the Ariel. The adaptation is used from Dahaka. The boss is currently captured. The Holy Ground is out. Are they able to get onto the point? It does not look like it. Droplets is going to fall here as well. GGs are called out, and that is going to be the first game going over to imported support. GG, well played. Whew. I could barely keep up with those last couple of fights. Just phenomenal play from these teams. Holy crap. The rotations that they made during this game were just out of this world. They were so quick to respond to so many things, and a lot of the match, it felt like LOL was responding to a lot of the things that import support were doing. It was more of a reactive game than I don't know. It felt like they were reacting most of the entire game to what import support were doing on the map, and that it stemmed from early game. And I was saying the aggression is gone, but or the aggression was there and then it was gone. But I honestly think they just need to get their footing, and I think they have this. Oh, they swapped sides on me. So let me go ahead and just swap this out as well as update the team score. So we are gonna have. Okay, there we go. Can we copy? Okay, put that there. Right side team. Update the score. Okay, cool. Looks like we are all set. Swab spooking them with that ghosty. No, seriously, he spooked him with that ghosty. That was a phenomenal game. I honestly did not expect the draft the way that it came out and everything. That phenomenal play from both teams. Like these were amazing games. I'm gonna let them know that I am ready. All right. No, that was a phenomenal game. Oh my God, those they played out of their mind, absolutely out of their mind. And thank you, everyone who came by. Thank you for hanging out in Twitch chat and everything. Yo soy Equipo. Okay. That was the first game. Just to update everybody. Looks like there we go. All right, we are going into Infernal Shrines as our second map here. We did switch sides. Let me just double check that really quickly, make sure I have them correct. So we have LOL on the left and imported support on the right. It's a little bit of a swap sides here. And I wish I grabbed 3 glasses of water. I didn't think I was going to be doing this many games. But it's worth it. This is the HGC NA Open Cup number 7. This is the one right before they do the turn. Right off the bat, they're going to ban out those Lost Vikings. They do not want to deal with... oh my God. How can I... I literally have the name and then it's gone for a second. Dropping a few frames there, no big deal. Yeah, it's really odd. Actually... I'm at 339, so I don't know if I've dropped any more recently or if I have a little bit of stuttering. Go Snake. Yeah, I know I dropped a few frames before the last match, and it was really weird because I actually, my upload rate spiked to like 5,000 randomly. I don't know how. It looks like we're pretty level right now. I haven't dropped any frames for, I think, quite some bit. We're still at 339. Unless OBS is lying to me. And it looks like we're actually going to see a Genji ban from LOL. I was actually thinking they were going to go into the Tassadar, but maybe they're going to go for it themselves? Or are they just doing like a reverse draft? They're going to do their second ban first and their first ban second. I keep looking over at my other monitor now just to see. I'm like, am I dropping any frames? It looks okay. But thank you for always, it's always good that people are letting me know those things. I can always check back. Looks like we're going to have the first pick, Greymane, on the side of imported support. On the left. What are we going to have for their first 2 picks here? Now that they're in this 1-2 slot, they didn't ban the Tassadar. Does that mean that they're going to be trying to pair something with it in this initial draft position? And at the same time, what are they going to be going into for their secondary healer if they do that? Or, well, their main healer, since Tassadar is the secondary healer. They're going to go into the Abathur once again. Okay.
I will fight to my last.
And they're going to pick up the Rhaegar, I believe. Last game they just had the Kharazim. Yes. Yeah, because they were just cloning Kharazim every fight. So Greymane is extremely strong in the 4-man, extremely strong in the solo lane, and extremely strong in the shrines. So the first pick here, I'm not surprised about this at all. Now, what I'm curious is what they're going to be building on top of that. We did see the Ariel in the last game. It was extremely impactful. I think on a map like this, I wouldn't be too surprised to see priorities on Arthas, Diablo, Gul'dan, Ariel. A lot of the, well, I guess I'll slow down a little bit there. Like, Arthas is really good in the shrines, really good at solo laning, so he's just a good off tank as well as, honestly, a main tank. And then you could maybe off tank with a Diablo. But we're going to have the Lucio and Sonya, and so they're going to go ahead and actually pick up the AoE healing that you get from the Lucio, the burst that you get from Break It Down, or the burst shielding, the speed boost that you can get for a disengage if you do need it, and then they're going to have Sonya for that solo laning as well as the shrine clear. And the one thing I want to note that I almost do like every time I stream this map or cast this map, if your team wins an engagement, like let's say you win a late game team fight, you can literally have your entire team push up the lane and have the Sonya just sit on the shrine. It's a little bit slower, yes, but at the same time, she has that solo shrine ability as well as the solo laning that's just so extremely powerful. And I really, really like the draft that's coming out of imported support. Now, LOL going into this next ban phase, they're probably going to be prioritizing... I would honestly prioritize the Diablo if they're not going to take it themselves. I think Diablo is extremely strong on this map. In the shrines, there's a lot of corridors for him to get the Shadow Charge. But they're going to go ahead and hover over this ETC. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they picked up ETC themselves last game. It looks like they don't want to deal with that as a potential main tank to go up against. But they did have... I guess that just means that they're not going to be going into it themselves, maybe? I'm curious. Oh, Zombie Chew, that's a really good point. Greymane to stop the Abathur Greymane double pick. That is true. But even then, like, I think Greymane's just even then a strong... You could probably solo with him at this point, I think, on this map very easily. Clone Jaina? Clone Jaina's terrifying. 2 Jainas? 2 Ice Queens chasing you around, throwing snow on you. And even then, we often see things like Chromie on this map. We actually see her quite a bit on this map, realistically. The artillery that you can get from her is extremely powerful. Some of the other spellcasters that we do also see as the Gul'dan being banned out, that is a combination that people do run on this map. And there's the Arthas prioritization with the Leoric. And I guess Leoric is actually moving up in the priority for a lot of these games, mostly because of the fact that his rework has affected his build to the point where I think he's a little bit more viable as a tank off tank. The way that he heals at this point, it's really good. I mean, he can sustain through a lot of team fights. The March of the Black King, as we saw in that last game, he was at a sliver of health, slapped the R key. He got one hit off of March of the Black King. Then you had the Crystal Aegis from the Ariel just to save for those few extra seconds while the rest of the team was rotating in or just posturing up a little bit further, preparing for the extra heals that came out from the Rhaegar. But Leoric, just that entire game, was pretty powerful. We did see a couple kills onto him, but at the same time, he's one of those, that's his whole thing. Like, if he dies, he's still on the map. He's still granting vision. He's still slowing heroes. He also cheats death. But we're actually going to see a Tyrael Ariel out from imported support. So they're going to be pairing that Ariel and Greymane together. So this is the thing. All right, this is the one thing I wanted to note. I started talking about that ETC, and I was like, but they banned it. Like, they played ETC last, and they're going to ban it. And I know ETC is pretty powerful, and he does well on this map, but I think the Tyrael last game was so impactful that I think that might have been a stronger ban on the side of LOL. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I'm a little worried on the side of LOL. But we'll see. We're going to go into our second game here. LOL versus imported support. And on the left, we have LOL with Hospital on Leoric, Droplets on Zagara, Itobi on Rhaegar, Kevin on Arthas, and Hashibaba on... It's Hoshi Baba on our Abathur. I'm messing that up all night. And then on the right-hand side, we have imported support. Up one game with Ignition on Tyrael, Specialty on Greymane, the Aware on the Ariel, Draded on Lucio, and we have Swabs Magoo on Sonya. Did I remember that right? Swabs Magoo on Sonya. Okay, we did get that right. We'll go ahead and pull up this level 1 at the bottom. We actually have Accelerado for the Lucio here. Okay. So we currently have Abathur posturing that top lane with the Zagara as well. It looks like they're actually going to rotate their Sonya into bottom right away. This is interesting because typically we see a like a 1v1 in top and then a 4-man rotation between mid and bottom, and that's what I was assuming the Lucio was for. Not only on those, you know, the AoE healing and just the burst shielding that you can get post 10 from the break it down, but I was thinking that the speed boost was going to be used to make these quicker rotations, but it looks like they're going to put the Greymane and the Ariel in the top lane up against the Zagara Abathur combination, so they're going to actually force a rotation from E-Kevin and E-Toby. Now the question is, are they going to get onto the Aware? They actually get the disengage right away. They're like, we don't want to deal with that. Specialty is postured up with the Ariel as well. Now we do have the Tyrael currently rotating up through this middle point. Does scout a couple people coming back down here, so is going to go ahead and back off as well. And meanwhile, in bottom, we actually had Abathur come down to bottom. Hospital getting out with only the 43 health. That was so insanely close. But with the Abathur currently not in the lane, we do have this extremely strong push in the top lane. Now the rest of the team is rotating. It looks like they're going to start to do these rotations on the side of LOL. And it actually looks like they're going to stay right down here. They're just doing whatever they want at this point. This is interesting though. It's always interesting when people play. I apologize for not seeing that. That is going to be the Zagara dying here first, and that's actually the worst situation to have your solo laner dying. Oh, okay. They do have the Abathur to push back with the hat, so it's going to save them. What I was going to allude to is the fact that they could potentially they get the blast into the Aware. Great Specialty is trying to get that dive out, and they will be able to with the rest of the team currently rotating up. But the one thing I was going to start to note is if they were to go ahead and try and push into that top lane a little bit harder, the Punisher would get a little bit more value coming into this next phase. And now Lucio coming in here, Draded, just so aggressively just attacking onto Hospital. Getting a little bit of poke damage here and there and backing off. I'm going to go ahead and just zoom out. And this is exactly what I was talking about. They currently are using 4 of their members to zone away the enemy team. Zagara is actually going to be pushing to bottom, but what they're utilizing is that Sonya to just solo the Shrine. They actually get a little bit of a jump onto Hospital as he is currently rotating up. There's the whip from the Ariel. There is Greymane following up. They get the kill onto him as well. Now in top lane, we currently have the Tyrael and the Sonya going up against this this Arthas, and will they be able to get the... Okay, Rhaegar will be able to get away there. Sonya trying to get the slam there. Just Arthas getting away with about 500 health. Just really, really close. But at the same time, we currently have Leoric rotating back into that mid lane, just clearing out, letting Abathur get those Locusts pushing up a little bit further. And currently we do have the Sonya dying in this top. They are only at 15 skeletal defenders. Mana Bushido would be terrifying. We do have Greymane just posturing around this Zagara, trying not to show in her vision. And these teams are just being pulled all over the map. Drake Greymane currently diving in here. I don't want to miss too much. Trying to see everything that's happening at once. Looks like the Punisher will be going over to LOL here. We're going to go ahead and push into this top lane with it. Zagara's going to continue to push the bottom. Actually getting quite a bit of damage onto the Greymane. He will have to hearth back at this point. Looks like Ariel was de-pushing mid. They're going to go ahead and have a few of the members just clearing up this Punisher, but they're going to probably lose just the tower here. Or actually, not even. So they lost their gate. Not too big of a deal. Ariel did get a little bit of the soak in mid, but this Abathur game is definitely it's different this game. The Howling Blast does connect. They actually die from the Rhaegar. The Slowing Totem is there. Aware is just barely able to get behind the gate. There was a flash of health there for a quick second, probably around like 300-ish. This game, it's starting to get... It's starting to go over to LOL a little bit here because of that Abathur push that's constantly in the lane, constantly just affecting them, pressuring them. This is just out of this world. Zagara is doing an extreme amount of just bullying as well, rotating into that bottom lane, getting, I believe, the gate while all of that was happening, a little bit of damage onto the fort. Droplets will be coming back up here, though, to just push up into a few of these members, but we do have a small engagement here happening in mid. It looks like they will be able to just avoid that. We do have a quick pause from one of the members, so we're going to go ahead and just transition the scene so we don't show where anyone is on map. We'll talk about a couple of these talents. Looks like Abathur's actually going into a Locust Mine build. This is interesting. Okay, we had a little bit of a lag, but it looks like we are back into the game. All right, we do have a little bit of a dive onto Ignition here from Kevin and Toby. Yeah, Druins went out, but it didn't confuse them. They just started pushing up a little bit further. And I hope that was him putting the variant, the confused variant there afterwards. They go ahead and they try and push in up into the Cigar, and they're making sure to clear back her creep as much as possible, because once the map gets that creep, it is extremely hard to make these kind of sneaky rotations. But at this point, we have a few of the members diving onto import support. Special Tree taking quite a bit of damage. Tyrael will be able to potentially get away. Ignition with 100 health, and he will be able to get out. Druin's Might over the wall, but with the Abathur soaking and a couple of these kills, it's even in kills, but I think they were just later games, so a little bit more experience. LOL is actually going to go ahead and invade this camp, steal it away from imported support. Potentially, actually, no, the Arthas will be falling here. They're going to go ahead and get this. And with a few of the members rotating through the mines, they might not be able to get the Leoric, but the dive from the Greymane will be able to get the kill onto Hospital. So that is going to be the Arthas and the Leoric dying, and they're going to go ahead and start working on this shrine. Abathur is in the bottom lane, pushing this up a little bit with his Locust. As I noted, though, he was going into a few of those Locust talents, as well as those Mine talents. But it looks like we do have 10s on the side of LOL, so I'm curious to see if they're going to kind of flex on imported support. Unfortunately, no, because imported support has their 10s just as quickly. We do have the Sound Barrier picked up. We do have Wrath of the Berserker, Crystal Aegis, Curse Bullet, and Sanctification. Now, on the side of LOL, they do have March of the Black King, Nidus Network, Ancestral, Army of the Dead, and Clone. Or, excuse me, Evolve. No, not Evolve Monstrosity. I'm sorry, the dive onto this Leoric. He's getting the value from his March of the Black King, but unfortunately, he will be dying there. It did buy them a little bit of time and put a little bit of damage out, but unfortunately, that Curse Bullet dive from a few of the members of Imported Support was just way too much for them to handle. And they're actually, looks like they're taking out the sidewall here. They're really trying to just aggress onto a few of the members. I think they're going to try and get as much value out of the jump as possible, and they're going to go ahead and do that exactly. The Carns did go onto the Arthas. The Army of the Undead is used, popping these right away, trying to get as much healing as possible. Sanctification and the Break It Down were used at the same time. A little bit of anti-synergy there, though, but unfortunately, LOL is able to push a few of these members back. We actually have Leoric falling here, and actually they're going to turn it back right around. And they're going to go ahead and get quite a bit of damage. The clone does come out from Abathur. There are 2 Zagars currently just pushing into import support. Some of the damage is starting to whittle them down here. The chain heals from Rhaegar, or excuse me, the AoE healing from Leoric is extreme. I am out of breath. The AoE healing from Lucio, wow. Let's try for the 3rd time on that one. But it was so insane how Lucio was able to keep so many of those members up. And with that, let's just check on his healing really quickly. Just 22,000 in healing. Now, granted, the Ariel is at 33,000, and she was there the entire time and just constantly slapping heals out. We currently have Swabs Magoo going to be trying to spin to win, but unfortunately will get slapped by Hospital and will be falling here. Now, the Greymane is getting targeted, it looked like, by a few of the members. The Howling Blast does not connect, but actually Import Support's going to go ahead and turn this around. They're fighting under their tower. The Curse Bullet did go out and connected onto Kevin. They do get the clap onto a few of the members here. Just Leoric falling a little bit low. Tyrael trying to jump a little bit far forward. Draded now here with his team, able to give them that little bit of speed boost if they want to try and chase down these members. But they're going to go ahead and clear out that wave that was pushing them back a little bit. Was pushing into their tower here. In the meantime, Zagar is going to go ahead and get this aggressive camp before Lucio can spot it in time. Now the chase is here, and she does have the speed bonus on the creep, and he actually just has the base speed bonus from his ability to shift his 2 passives. But whew. And it looks like import support, they're going to go ahead and leave this camp, and it looks like Zagar is going to go ahead and get the Nidus into this bottom lane and push this out a little bit forward. The Howling Blast will not connect from ECAV, the rest of the team is rotating up at this point. They're starting to get a little aggressive here. The camp is going to be meeting the team here in lane, and it looks like they'll be able to clear this out quite quickly. 13s are on for both sides, so it is even talent tiers. Actually all the heroics are currently off cooldowns. So I'm curious to see if we're going to get a huge engagement or if we're going to see a huge just push from the Abathur clone Zagara into this keep. And I wonder if that's going to pull any of the members of import support back. Looks like Tyrael will not be hearthing. Zagara is going to go ahead and go into the top lane. They did push that camp up quite a bit. Abathur will be facilitating a little bit as well. Excuse me. Ignition taking quite a bit of damage here, but actually E-Kevin getting dove upon. The Ancestral does connect. The jump comes out for the Punisher onto 2 of the members. Hospital and E-Kevin falling extremely low here. We do have E-Kevin just pulling the team away. The sound barrier was used, but it looks like that is going to be the Arthas dying here, and this Punisher will be currently aggressing onto this top lane for it, but at the same time, Zagar has been pushing onto this bottom lane. Droplets is definitely getting a lot of value from this pickup. Now, at the same time, we do have a Frozen Punisher at about 50%. It looks like they're going to start whittling down these walls on the side of imported, or against LOL here. Punisher does jump out onto Hospital, does get the Wraith Walk away. Punisher is falling extremely low, and will they be able to get enough value out of this Punisher so they can get the keep, or will they just be sacrificing their keep? And they are actually having to back off here. A huge Howling Blast on a couple of members. The Crystal Aegis does go out. They are starting to have to fight underneath here. Wrath of Berserker is used. The spin is out, and they are trying to just sustain through this fight, and it looks like they are able to. Sonya is currently, they do get the kill actually onto the Abathur clone, so that is currently down. Abathur is back, heading on the Zagara, trying to get just the healing there. Zagara has no mana at all. Arthas is a little bit low here on health. They do get the chain in. That is going to be Zagara falling here. The Hospital is a little bit low. There is the hat on from Zagara, or from Abathur, trying to just get a little bit of damage out. The Curse Bolt did go out, and I do not think it connect onto any of the members there. That is going to be the keep falling. Kevin does get the cleanse, but will he be able to get into the Hall of Storms? There is the hat from the Abathur, and it looks like they're going to start aggressing onto this course. 16s are achieved for both teams. Currently has 14 seconds until Zagara is back up. And we do have Greymane falling extremely low. There is no mana for specialty. The breakdown is there from Lucio, and they are currently just trying to burn this core down before they can get the Zagara back. Sanctification is used. The Ancestral is there onto E-Kevin as well. Crystal Aegis is there onto the Ariel herself, and that is going to be GG's, the second game going over to imported support. Well played.